A land conquered. That's a powerful phrase. When you hear it, what do you see? A home worn down by the boots of empire? A people torn apart by strife or bowed and bent by oppression? That's what they want you to see. When they conquered our home, the empire thought they had taken everything from us. But what they don't understand is the more you take, the hungrier people get. And friend, we got hungry. When we had lost everything, we found each other. We found ancient truths and forgotten poems and stories that told us who we used to be. Together, we drove out the conquerors. Now, our home, our haven, is a land reclaimed.
Hey, welcome everyone. Shout out to our pre-stream raid. Thank you all so much, raiders, for being in the audience. You came here right in time. We're about to get started. This is All Nerds here. And welcome to Haven, a Land Reclaimed. This is an actual play show of Legacy Free from the Yoke by Mina McJanda and Fyodor Kasatkin, based on the RPG Legacy. They're both great. You should check them out. We've been having fun playing them. You're here in time for our 2-part season finale. This is part 1. So join us next week too if you want to see it. If you like it and want to see how it turns out. I'm JR. I am the Arbiter, or GM, for this game. I use the Guardians of History playbook. And since we got a lot of new folks, the Guardians of History are a force that tries to glorify the past and is leery of moving towards the future and is kind of one of the many opposing forces in the world. Next to me on the screen is utterer of cursed phrases, Simon.
Hello, everyone. I'm not going to curse you right off the bat. I'm too much internet knowledge. It's a bad thing. I'll tell you what. My name is Simon, and I am going to be playing The Woven. We are a house made up of a number of diasporic peoples from outside of Haven who have united together under one banner to try and make a living for ourselves after we lost everything to an old empire. We are going to be bringing in a new avatar for this age, who I'll be introducing shortly, because wouldn't you know it, last session, the character I was playing sort of became an oracle and one of the cunning folk, and now she can talk to the land and has all kinds of magical powers. So she's not in the table anymore. So you'll find out who that is when we get to them. My pronouns are he, him.
After Simon, utterer of less cursed phrases, Alex.
Still a little cursed as a treat.
Still,
yes.
like a little bit.
Just a bit.
I'm Alex. My pronouns are he, him, and I will be playing. My avatar character is Chimali, whose pronouns are she, they, in part because she is fused with one of her ancestral fire spirits, as you do, and part of the faction, the what do we call, the Forgers of Unbroken Bonds, who are a bunch of blacksmiths and craftspeople who like making really pretty things and keep getting dragged into wars.
Awesome. And then we have our producer, Rue.
Hello. I am Rue. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm using the Teachers of Ancient Truth playbook, renamed Ashes of Prithvi. And this week I will be playing Jahi, whose pronouns are he, they, who is one of the new leaders, council leaders of the Ashes.
And finally, for now in person, we have RPG's indie punk rock bastard, Viditya.
Yeah, that's true. Hi, I'm Viditya. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing the Sages of Cinder, who in the actual game are the Church of the Forgotten Lands. Basically, they're a religious kind of faction in the world. Very different from what the book paints them, is how the sages are. And then I am playing, my avatar for this age is Shura, who uses she, her pronouns.
Awesome. And since Josephine, shout out, great, brought in so many new folks, right? I wanna just briefly go over the game for people who aren't familiar with this. Legacy games are they're kind of like a more like you would play like a Game of Thrones or something with that. They're based on like faction level play, and you kind of zoom in to see what characters do. So you kind of get an overview of what's going on in the land, and then you kind of see the different like perspective characters. If this were a book, it'd be the central character in each chapter. You kind of follow them for a while and see how they meet up. And we've spent the last season creating a world that we've been playing and having adventures in and rifting in. At the very last moment, we have got Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm the disaster there at the party. And I play the River Folk.
He's muted. Probably. That's
You're
fine.
muted and not any other one.
Gotta swap them.
Kevin is hot swapping his technology real quick. 1 second while we vamp for time. Legacy games are powered by the Apocalypse, so we'll be rolling 2d6 and adding various numbers, and then on 7 to 9 or 6-, things get interesting for these folks.
Mm-hmm.
So far, also in this game, particular, Free from the Yoke, you are encouraged to have characters like die and swap out and retire. You kind of churn through them as you get to different chapters and chunks of your story. It's a really cool system. It's different from most RPGs, which focus on like a central cast and then follow them for either years or like 2 months if you sit down and figure out how long you've actually been playing for. Kevin, I think we heard you.
Hi, I'm Kevin. If you can hear me, I'm the disaster. They're the party. My pronouns are he, him. I play the River Folk, who are officially the Brotherhood of the Serpent in the book. The Southeast Asian analog in this game. And I used to play Win. All of them. All 6 of them. Now I play someone else. I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well,
Yeah.
with that in mind, let's get started. It is 3 days since the events called the Bloody Feast. The quiet of winter is beginning to creep up on the land of Haven. But this quiet is an illusion, hiding beneath the biting winds and in the stillness of long, dark nights are movements that bring war to these shores. The safety and the peace that has already been shattered once threatens to fracture again, never to be reforged. We find ourselves in a world beset by enemies on 2 sides. Many have lost loved ones. Many have suffered injustice at the hands of traitors. Now the people are looking for a relief, looking for a chance to heal, a chance to gather their strength. But it seems like time will not cooperate. The moment for action is at hand. Last time, just to recap, last time we had a lovely feast, and there was a coup attempt, which was responded to by an attempt to do another coup. Many duels were fought. Shochi, one of the previous player characters, became one of the arbiters, a collective of sort of magical oracles who are in tune with the land and who are supposed to oversee everyone. Meanwhile, we learned that an enemy nation, the Hua, who dwell to the southeast, if we can cut over to our map and show what we've got going on everyone's favorite, we use Google Jamboard, which is perhaps one of the best like collaborative map making tools, but the Hua have invaded from the southeast and have landed on Haven shores and are quickly fortifying what they've held. Meanwhile, to the northwest, the strange and fractious people known as the Tusk Lords have pushed in and established a perimeter. Their mammoths thunder and cause the very land itself to shake where they go. And we find ourselves at the turning of the seasons. So let's go ahead and start by doing the move, Turn the Seasons, which is on page 132, I think. Yeah.
Before we jump into that,
Yes.
because the Woven had their bloody coup last
Mhm.
session, resulting in the death of Tizpal, the leader of the Woven,
Mhm.
I believe that qualifies us to need to hold together.
I think so.
Ooh.
Yes. You should
Yeah.
roll hold together. So roll plus mood, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, so our mood, for those of you who are new, is a stat that we calculate for each house based on sort of the difference between how many surpluses a house has and how many needs it has. And as far as I know, my surpluses of coin, attunement, and raw materials are all still in play. And my needs for justice, leadership, crops, and morale are also still applicable, perhaps now more than ever.
More than
which
ever, I would say. Yeah.
Our mood is a -1.
All right.
So
So-
I've got 7 on the dice, and I subtracted 1, which brings me a miss. A
All
6.
right. Which I think makes sense. The death of Tizpal has left the Woven divided, and without Shochi to step in and take over the house, because she's gone off to become one of the arbiters and now sits with that council of cunning folk and is privy to their mysteries and must be above the business of running a single household or a single people. They are unable to pull together. I think as we go into this next season, there is fractious fighting between these people as they try and discover what they need, who's going to lead. But I don't think that's the story of this season. I think that's just sort of like in the background. I think they're all kind of congealing around things. I think what this means, though, is that when the message comes through from the six who are down below in the realm of the dead, no one is there to hear it. No one is there to interpret it, and its sign passes into the air, waiting for another age, another time.
Right on.
Ooh.
Yeah. So now let's start by turning the season, which is on page 132 if you've got your books. If not, I will take care of that right now. When it is time to move on to the next season, anyone who hasn't yet been the focus of a character level story may veto this decision. We've all done that so far, though. So we move the calendar on to the next season, which is winter. The GM picks one for each point turmoil exceeds control. And right now, turmoil exceeds control by 1. So of the options I have, there's a disaster, lose some progress. Raiders strike, give the house with least favor and need. An affliction strikes a settlement, plague, poisoning, murders, or something weirder. Separatists, fanatics, or revolutionaries claim a region as their own, mark out the borders they claim on the map. The old empire sends agents into the land, pick what they do from the subterfuge options. I'm going to pick with a disaster. So
Here? A disaster here?
a disaster. We set it up.
Here?
We set it up last time, so we'll just tide hold in that flooding sank beneath the lake, and it is now submerged.
Oh.
So I'll just fill that in on our map. It has been reclaimed by the land. Yeah. That's my move. But now all of you, we trigger holding court. So, when you're holding court, the arbiters call on each house of note to serve them. Roll plus favor. I think most of y'all actually have good favor this time. So let's start with the Woven, since now you have an arbiter. Get +1 favor for that,
Okay.
and roll plus favor.
Would we have lost favor for starting the war? Did we already do that? I don't remember.
We already did that. Yes.
Okay, so
We
we're
did-
now
we
at
did all
favor
that.
1.
Yeah.
Great. So I've got 2d6 plus 1, and I've got an 8.
Excellent.
The first time that we've rolled above a 6 this entire
Yeah.
Oh my
game.
god.
It makes sense.
I
though.
would
It
hope
makes sense.
so.
Narratively, it makes sense. Yes.
So the arbiters wish you to deal with the Hua.
Yep.
If you do it by the end of the season, gain 1 favor. Otherwise, lose a favor. All right, Alex, how about give me that favor roll, please?
All right. I believe we are still at a +3 from our good work for
Oh,
them
teacher's
in the past.
I
Yep.
mean, the forgers are nothing if not the teacher's pets. Yes.
All right. That is 9 plus 3 is 12.
12. Excellent. I don't think this comes through to Chimali, who is off hanging out with a giant rainbow plesiosaur.
As you do.
Instead,
That's
what they want is for you to try and deal with the encroaching Tusk Lords, and to help deal with that, they are giving the forgers raw materials. So you get surplus raw materials, and they want you to once again make weapons
Oh
and
boy.
tools of war.
Oh.
Oh, just
That was
as
the thing you
we
swore
under
not
the
to
old
do.
empire and have sworn not to do. Wow.
Mhm.
Oh no.
That's rough, arbiters. That's rough of you.
You know, people got needs.
They do.
If you achieve this, gain 1 favor and add 1 progress. If you fail, lose 1 favor, the surplus, and 1 progress.
Oh, I didn't do the thing they asked me to do last season because they wanted me
Ah.
to take the mech from
they did.
the river folk. So
They-
should I lose favor for that?
Yes, you should.
Oh, wait, then I lost favor. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, when does that happen? At the end of the last?
That happens at the end of the season.
Okay, so I guess
So-
I still got an 11 or something.
Yes,
So
you're
that's
still fine, but you did lose that. Same for since you've lost favor, Viditia. Why don't you go ahead and roll?
I'm rolling with a
And
0.
losing
I mean, it's
favor
fine.
triggers hold together, right?
Losing favor does. Yes, it does trigger holding together.
All right, better.
So
It's fine. That was close.
Cool, I'll roll that
All
as
right.
well.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
finish. We'll finish the
how
whole
do we-
together.
how do we do? Oh yes, let's finish the whole together.
I got an 8 on my hold together.
All right. So you're mostly fine. On a 7 and 9, you're fine. But we pick one of these options. You lose people to harm and or desertion, gain need recruits. Another house or faction came through to help you out, give them influence over you, or the danger hasn't passed so much as shifted into a different, more manageable problem. Say what it is.
Interesting.
Oh, I also have
Uh,
to roll favor. Roll to
Mhm.
hold together. So I'll do both my rolls.
Yeah, do both of those right now while Alex decides what he's gonna go with.
Simon, do you already have influence over me?
1 second. I think I do not yet.
I think it would make sense if you got influence over me since we had our nice our houses like signing a more formal alliance at the end of
Compact,
that
yeah.
last time. Yeah.
There
So
you
you might
go.
have helped me out a little bit with this.
Perfect. All right, Viditia, how did these sages do?
So
Both with-
should we resolve my hold together and then holding court?
Yes.
Okay. I failed holding together.
Oh, delightful.
hmm
Delightful.
Oh wait, it's
Uh,
mood. Wait, hold on. No,
It's
okay.
mood.
Yes.
Because my vibes are pretty good.
You got good
um,
vibes.
I
Great.
got all right vibes. That's a
Uh,
+1, so I got a 7.
You got a 7.
That was
So
very close.
again, pick one from that list. Gain need recruits. give someone else influence on you, or shift the danger, which is the arbiters being mad at you, into a more manageable problem. And tell me what that is.
The danger hasn't passed so much to shift it into a different, more manageable problem. I think probably. Oh, so at the end, like there was like this whole thing where at least Shuda, who's like a major part, and like Hira, and like so there was a bunch of major players in my faction were there at the Bloody Feast, and is probably like the problem is like now the house is like the infighting is a little bit more where it's we're fighting about like, hey, maybe we should run things a little differently. Like, you know, it's more important that we protect ourselves instead of trying to like gun out and fight everybody else. Probably like fighting about unity in Haven versus unity in the house, I think is like what's happening.
That makes sense. And so what, how did you do for holding court?
I did all right. I also got a 7 for that.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
The arbiters would also like for you to deal with the Tusk Lords right now. There's 2 things that they need help with, really. And
boy, would we love to.
Boy, would they like for that to happen. Rue, how about rolling for the ashes?
Yeah. This is plus favor.
Plus favor.
My favor has not been good.
It's well, you know, that happens as well. You can always call on the Arbiter's agent for aid, though I can understand why not wanting to when we were having a revolution last time.
Parents just don't understand me. They'll never help.
Oh my god.
That is one of the things.
The wrong thing.
Oh.
It's a 3.
Sweet. It also kind of makes sense that you would lose favor at court, and the arbiters would be looking for someone to replace you. The arbiters are, in fact, in this time, turning to the Woven for advice, and hoping to get their answers and their perspective on what's going on. So that is but they also don't expect anything of you, so you can do whatever you like this season, and there probably won't be any consequences. Last but not least, let's hear from the Riverfolk.
Can the Riverfolk hear from us?
Uh-oh.
Favor, right?
Mhm.
Yes, roll plus favor.
For
Plus,
And
that's 9.
9 on a 7 and 9, the arbiters want you to do something. If you do it, gain one favor and 1 progress. If you fail, lose 1 favor and 1 progress. Or 1 favor, I guess. They would like you to join forces with the Wofen and deal with the Hua.
Already done.
Perfect. It's real simple, which brings me to the other part of bookkeeping before we get started. We also have changed our Arbiter project, because before it was the Insurrection project, as you guys were rebelling against me, and if you had won, Kevin would be running things right now. But instead, we are switching Arbiter projects to open war, as there is open conflict at the nation's borders, as armies march and convoys rumble, while those seeking to profit from the clashing of soldiers set up camps a safe distance from the front line. The Arbiter demands victory, but what will it cost? Ordinarily we would...
Like 3 seasons ago?
The thing that you warned everyone about.
3 seasons ago?
A whole age ago.
Listen, just because you said, hey, there's people at the borders doesn't mean that you're justified in firebombing a jungle and, you know, starting a coup and...
So
hey, the Arbiters absolved me.
just to lay out how this will work, you all will need to deal with both the Tusk Lords and the Hua. Every time you either deliver a military surplus to the Arbiter's side of the war front, something they need, we increase the progress track. When bad stuff happens, we increase the doom track. So if the Arbiter's agent dies, if a key settlement falls to the enemies, if the opposing forces get support from another power, and turmoil exceeds control, which has happened. So at the start of this project, there are 2 points in the doom track because the opposing forces have support from another power, and turmoil exceeds control. So you guys have your work cut out for you, but that's what takes us into this season, into winter in Haven. I guess at this point, let's turn it over to you.
It's winter in Haven.
Hang on. What technic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very good, Simon. Simon does all of our music on the fly, and he is killer at it.
What would you say are the places in which we have to deliver these assets of war?
Yeah, so let's pop back over to the map real quick. Places that need supplies and troops, because as of right now, there aren't really any. There's not really a front, right? I think Haven doesn't really have an army of its own. I think the different houses have their own forces, but everyone's kind of scattered and divided. But the key areas are along here where the Tusk Lords are, right in these two places here. If you can get to the islands, that might help cut off the supply chain that the Hua are maintaining and using to supply their invasion force. Other things that I could help. Haven doesn't really have, as we said, a lot of troops. So convincing the other factions that we've seen so far, like the Keepers of the Tome or the Thunderlords, to join in might help. Figuring out or winning battles also can help. So whatever things you guys want to do to try and save your lands, this is your chance to do it.
Kevin, can I do a small thing while you're figuring your stuff out?
Yes. Go for it.
I think at the start of the age, or at the start of the season, sorry, after all...
What, you want to fight me again? Let's
No.
do it.
Oh, Kevin. No,
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson?
hold up. Hold up, Kevin.
You get knocked down, you get back up again, so we can knock you down again.
You'll be very,
We're not Chumbawambas
about what I'm
here.
about to say.
Not yet.
Through, you find on many of like the bulletin boards and the local, like at all the local sages temples, are in all the temples across Haven, a message is being delivered, spread. I forgot the word. And it's the sages saying, like, it's like in Hidden's script, or like it's definitely like her words, where she's like, the age for our bickering within Haven should be over, and we absolve the river folk of what they did. We saw, like, we saw that there is treachery in all of us, but similarly there is light in every single one of them. Welcome them back, and together we shall heal. So you've been absolved publicly, which really just mechanically means I have influenced you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that gives the influence on him.
Can I add a small fictional moment to this?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I think was this at Shura's behest?
Yeah, definitely Shura, there was some, backroom kind of stuff going on of like we need, like I want to push for this.
So I don't think this is sent to Shura because like they know it's because of Shura, but then Shura does receive a Riverfolk contingent that deliver the body, the sort of waterlogged now due to their own doing, waterlogged body of Pazuzu, the 20-man slayer, the Grey Knight, and also the sword of Pazuzu, with a note that says, "You want it so fucking bad, take it."
Wow.
Fuck it, I'll take it. That's like the nicest thing the Riverfolk has done for me. This whole game.
Give you a dead body.
And
I think it's questionable whether or not it was sent. It could have been sent before or after your
Right.
absolve was
the
dispensed.
You definitely see,
it's left to interpret it.
you definitely see Shura like a smile kind of cracks, which is morbid with the body around, but like holding the sword is like okay, all right.
Well, because the that Ashes believe that once the mortal shell is done,
Oh
it's
yeah,
all about the fire within.
Mhm.
Everyone's got different attitudes about death here.
Keep
the
us
Grey Knight is
ashes.
out there. The Grey Knight is out there and ready, living a second life.
Uh,
They really got in that MMO, huh?
God. New game plus.
let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Linden Labs, who are still around inexplicably.
What?
Second Life? They made Second Linden Labs.
I know,
Second
they're
Life.
still around?
Yeah,
Second
I
Life
do
is
know
still
Second
heat.
Life.
Huh.
Yeah,
It's
still
thriving.
still going. You
Had
can
a
go
class
play
of that.
today.
Oh my
That's
God.
enough. Yeah, right. Technically a cryptocurrency if you think about it.
Well, I think we have a move, which is
Yeah,
that
go
now
please.
now that the Woven do not have to worry about battling off the fleet from the
Mhm.
Changers of Coin.
Mhm.
Well, the Tusk Lords have arrived at the Serpent's Song and Masanam,
Mhm.
and we happen to have all these raw materials just sitting there,
Oh.
along with a surplus of attunement. So I think that
Perfect.
we move some of those to. Does it have to go to the arbiters specifically, or to like the battle?
No,
effort?
to the place, right? To the effort, to the
Yeah.
front. It doesn't have to go specifically to the arbiters. So that sounds to me like you're triggering logistics, the move.
That is true.
So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. When you move things around, ordinarily you would pick, if your mood is below 0, you would pick an option. But as turmoil is above control, you must always pick at least one option. So what is your mood right now?
Our mood remains at -1.
So pick 2 options.
So we've got. I think we're going to deliver these raw materials, like building supplies, to try and shore up defenses or build siege weapons, whatever the arbiter decides to use them for, to the Serpent's Song. And I think what we're going to choose. It's going to take a while. So let's say that it stalls. It's going
Okay.
to stall. So you'll tell me what's needed to get it moving again.
And
I think you need to tell me whose lands it must travel through.
all right. So I will tell you both why it stalls and how it whose lands it must travel through. The best way to get it to where it needs to go, Mahasma Sanam is in dire need of supplies because it is just a matter of time before the Tusk Lords come. In order to get there, though, as your forces kind of probably reusing some of the unburned barges from the Changers of Coin start moving supplies, they are greeted by a small blockade on the river of strange ships of very light and portable design. The Tusk Lords, who call themselves the Ivory Riders, have taken control of this. They're the people that are set up in Bangaram, right above the Serpent Song, and you will need to get their consent and gain their aid in order to get this delivery going again.
Oof.
Oof.
And they have the city, right?
Yes, they have the city.
Well, then I suppose we're going to have to dispatch some diplomats, aren't we?
Sounds about right. Yes. You can dispatch some diplomats, and we can get to that in a minute. What are the Ashes doing?
I think the Ashes are. Let's see what they would be doing. Probably some of them would be searching for Veeb, and probably the rest are trying to figure out how to respond to the incoming forces.
Well, those both sound like read the wind to me.
Yeah, that sounds.
So when you call on your house's agents and allies, roll plus reach and ask one of these questions. How do we get access to a location item or VIP? VIP here standing for Veeb's important person. How do we get surplus blank? What are the movements of a particular group? What's happening in a particular region?
My reach is actually good.
Excellent. So go ahead and roll that, and I will. And tell me what you want to know, and I will answer your questions.
All right. Well, 8. It got there.
All right. So go ahead and pick one question.
What are the movements of the Hua?
What are the movements of the Hua? I will show you if we cut back over to the map.
Swapped over.
The movements of the Hua are as follows. They're kind of slowly spreading out, pushing their lands in. They're being held at bay by the Thunderlords here, fighting in the jungles, and I think both of the forgers like areas around here have been kind of overtaken. So they're kind of in this stretch of jungle all along here, where the land hides them.
Oh.
Land hides them.
All right. That brings us. Who wants to go next? Who has got another move they want to take?
I think maybe Alex and Cameron are figuring some stuff out, so I might have a quick one.
Yeah, go for it.
If that's okay. I want a subterfuge.
Ooh, excellent.
I think the sages are kind of currently trying to figure out like, all right, we're gonna like, I mean they want to. Bangaram is like a very interesting situation for them, right? Because if I'm correct, like the way that you've been pointing it out before throughout a lot of these sessions is like the people, like the sages, the people who are sages in Bangaram, like they're living there. Like the Tusk Lords aren't like holding everybody at spear point and like telling them.
No,
like,
they have said we're going to protect you from the coming invasion of our brethren. Because the Tusk Lords are sort of a loose alliance of city-states. and they're testing the definition of the word alliance right now.
Okay. I'm trying to like. So I'm gonna subterfuge, but I'm also maybe not entirely sure if there's like a move to like make an alliance with them, like to be like, hey, our people get along. Let's fucking like help us out, like you know.
Yeah.
You could zoom in with a quick character.
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly. Just like we need to zoom in with the Woven's diplomatic envoy over
Oh
there.
sure,
as well.
yeah. Okay.
So
Well then I might we can maybe zoom in then in a second.
all right, let's hang on to that for a little bit, and why don't we check in with Alex and Kevin? What are y'all doing?
Alex,
So okay,
what's the weather
So
like, Alex?
I'm gonna help out the river folk because the forgers at the end of the last episode got that warning about the Hua
We
from
did.
the land itself, and so are taking this pretty seriously. But also, they don't want to go fight, so they're going to help out the river folk by reinforcing some of their ships and doing various stuff to it to make them a little bit more battle ready. And so I will spend my influence over the river folk temporarily to give Kevin a temporary die on his next roll
Awesome.
Nice.
using the lend aid move.
Thank you. I wish I had a roll to make.
Oh, are you?
I'm just gonna be doing some trucking. The riverfolk having far spread and wide small villages, we do not need to consider logistics when we move things around. So
Mhm.
the riverfolk would like to distribute over to, sorry, what was the name again? Skyline Sister. They would like to distribute the fleet, their sailors, their mech, and their recruits.
Ooh,
Whoa,
ooh,
Dang.
you're like, take it.
they're in it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I believe that's 4 progress for you right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Can I lawyer that morale is also valuable to the war effort?
You can attempt to.
Because you see, in the case of fighting off an invader, holding morale, really holding the strength of the people and getting them behind you to support you is really the key in turning the tide of
Mhm.
war and turning the tide of an occupation. You really got to keep the will strong and keep the people on your side. Get them to not lose hope.
Yeah, that's very true. How are you delivering morale though? That's the question.
I think what it does. I think how we deliver morale is like we go full bear. We send the whole fleet. We send all the sailors. Like usually these are all dispersed so far out, but like they come as a single force and they come with the drums. Like they do this very like we announce our coming and it's like much louder than usual. I think what it is.
Okay, not to, because
No,
I love this, but historically, the people of
Mhm.
Haven hate the drums of the Riverfolk.
I don't think that's true.
You raid us with those drums. It was like one of the first things we established.
Sure. No, that's totally fine. So you have with your sudden show of force, you've ended the war for now. You have given us time. So I will change the land's borders
Not-
to include
Wow.
a valuable resource.
You
We'll
just one
say
shot that war.
Yeah.
we'll say that you managed to now include the
Turns out we did it.
Changers of Coins secret vault. But
Oh.
all of this land over on this side is the Huas. You are able to consolidate your force. All the people on the islands are lost. They either join with the Hua or are slaughtered or imprisoned. The Hua take up stock in the capital city as well, and the flower banner arises above the ancient capital.
Dang.
Oh
Um,
No.
but in holding their force, the Hua will not be able to muster a military threat against you. They won't be able to push further in for another age at least.
All right. Well, that's good.
They're
What's the
vague,
window?
at least.
They're at bay. You did it, Kevin.
They're literally on our doorstep, but at least they're
Yeah.
not actively trying to kill.
No,
Wait,
they're not
hold
at
on.
Bay. They're at Safe Harbor. What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
Well, no, they're
Wait.
at bay too.
Wow.
See, they,
So
they
does-
have it.
God.
They have it right here.
But that means that Skyfire Peak is under
Oh yeah,
Right.
Skyfire Peak
I
is,
was
it
wondering about
belongs to the
that.
Hua.
Interesting.
our
That's what happens
friends.
when we win the war.
That's what happens when you
That's
win the war. The GM will like. I'm following the fiction, right? Like you delivered a bunch of supplies, but no one like went to go fight them off. No one tried to like. I don't know. No one did anything except for like you brought your supplies, so you beefed up your border. I think. So.
Yeah.
Let's resolve this real quick.
Damn.
Yeah, that's
Good.
that's how it goes. You won. This is what winning looks like.
Hmm.
Uh,
This is peak performance.
so each player,
Oh
each
yeah, we
player
took too long
chooses
to
one.
band together. So like now we have to cut our losses. We have to cut off the leg. We have to cut out the infection.
Pretty much, yeah.
But we can
Uh,
always take it back.
We'll take it
Yeah.
back.
We'll stitch
Each
them
player chooses one. Your house was refined by the fires of war, add one to grasp and gain surplus morale. You take a valuable captive, ransom them back for surplus wealth, or learn from them and take a move from a house that's not in play. You turn your wartime alliance into a continuing organization, gain surplus prestige and one reach. You provided intelligence support for another house, gain surplus spies and influence on that house. You made sure that those displaced by the war landed on their feet, lose surplus land if you have it, but gain surplus recruits and one favor. And the arbiter tasks you with protecting the new border. So long as you hold the border, you have an extra asset option and advantage on using favor. So everyone pick one of those real quick.
Let me go back and look at those again.
Yeah. Where were they?
I'd love a surplus of spies, but that's
Yes,
not what the
you'll-
Woven are.
Page 167.
I think what the Woven are going to take
Mhm.
is to help those that were displaced by the war, because we are always people who have come out of adversity and have taken in others who have suffered, and so we're going to lose a surplus of land, which we don't have, but we do gain a surplus of recruits and one favor as we incorporate more refugees into our ranks, which is basically how our house got started in Haven.
Absolutely. All right. For those of you who had surpluses in those territories, you can trigger logistics to try and get them out of there as the age and the war comes to an end, or as this season and this war comes to an end.
Alex, do you have
Yeah.
surpluses
So
there? I would
yeah.
like to also lend you
All-
aid
all
using
of
my
I
my
aid.
can lend
stuff
you
is in
aid as
there.
well.
All right.
Let's all lend aid.
So
I only get
Historically,
aid
what
once.
happens?
yes, I think you can only get aid once. What surpluses do you have there?
All of them. So I've
Ooh.
got,
Perfect.
I've got dyes and pigments, trade, crops, and raw materials.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm
Uh,
thinking does it make any sense to be able to do like what is the big battle scene thing?
Pitched battle.
A pitched battle?
Pitch battle? Because I feel like that would feel more right to me than just like there is no pitched battle and these people abandoned their ancestral home. You know?
I mean, I'd say we could give it a try, but I think that's kind of a weird vagary of the game. It's like
Yeah.
we ended the war, right? Like
Like,
Do
if
we
I'd known
wanna
that was
say
going to
that it's
happen, I would
under
have done
siege
something else with
epic?
my turn.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, no, because like I hadn't checked in with anybody at that point. I didn't realize like this would be the end state of that move.
right.
So if we want to walk it back, if that's okay with JR, I'm totally cool walking back.
Yeah, I mean,
Moving those
like,
resources
you know,
and, like,
I'm
keeping the
fine
door
with
open.
whatever you all want. That just, you know.
Yeah.
So if you want to have like the big siege happen, we can absolutely do that.
That seems like a
Let's walk it back then. Let's say you've got.
Yeah, so I haven't moved any. I haven't committed any resources to that front end.
Well, you might want to commit some resources to that front.
I mean, no, instead of doing like the not logistics move, I would rather do a claim by force, using the advantage that the forgers had lended us, and try and claim by force.
Skyfire Peak.
Skyfire Peak was taken after. The,
right. So
Revolution
theoretically,
War,
if
so-
you claim like the Hua stronghold or something,
Mhm.
yeah, the Skyline sister.
Skyfire
Yeah,
Sister.
Skyfire Sister.
Skyfire
Yeah.
Sister.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skyfire Sister and Skyfire Peak are both there. You could claim either of them.
Yeah.
And then we reinforce. And then like if we move forward with the same events, I think it's just like we've reinforced the land underneath to Skyfire City.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because like that coast is kind of gunked.
It is kind of gunked.
Yeah.
yeah,
As
and I'm
they
definitely
say.
fine with that being like a little island under siege. It would just be weird for it to be sort of a fait accompli that it gets taken.
Mm-hmm.
So something kind of like this is what you're saying, right?
Let's see.
Where you've got like,
I mean, if we take back Skyfire Sister,
oh, if you take back Skyfire Sister. All right, so let's see if you can
because
take
we're
back.
claiming by force, right?
Well, were the Hua here before?
They
Yeah.
they have not. They're kind of moving to surround and enclose it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that wasn't added like after the sort of resolution of open war. That was
No,
okay,
that was
that
was
added.
beforehand. That's
Skyfire Sister's been taken for a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
Skyfire
the
Sister was. But I'm
result
looking
of-
at this one here by
Mhm.
the jungle, the kelp.
Oh, I don't know when that was added. I feel also pretty recently though.
those were long before the bloody feast.
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
That was
Yeah,
from, like,
we're
the
gonna try and
temples.
take back Skyfire Sister, but with probably claim by force, trying to claim what's it, land. When you try to maintain the seas, when you direct your house to seize or maintain control of a resource. So would like the resource of land be the appropriate one to take back this Skyfire Sister?
Yeah, I think that can just be the resource is Skyfire Sister. It's an
Mhm.
area. So yeah, claim by force.
When
When
we
you
claim
claim
by
by
force,
force,
we
roll
roll
plus
plus
grasp.
And I have advantage from Alex. And I have some moves here as the river folk. When you see by force, coastal sediment, which this is,
Mhm.
pick one of a couple different options. But I have to successfully do it, I believe, first. I know I always do that, but we'll resolve this first. That's fuck. That's an 11. That's 12.
Okay.
Nice.
Also, I think probably just thinking about it, like moving one. I don't know. I don't know if moving one resource is like one move or whatever, but especially since you're super distributed. So you have succeeded on a claim by force. So go ahead and pick one of the following options. You have. Hold on. Come back here, PDF. It's not completely yours yet. The forces you use must stay here until the start of the next season. If they leave or are removed before then, you lose control of the resource. There's a cost to your victory. Your house gets a need of the GM's choice, or you cause chaos and suffering or raise turmoil.
We gain a need.
All right. The cost to your victory is you gain a need for leadership.
leadership kit.
Mhm.
Do.
I think in the fighting, as your soldiers try and take hold of it, you have your leaders have to stay committed, and either some of them are lost or some of them are sort of remaining there to make sure that you keep control of it.
And then, as the Riverfolk have the move Raid and Plunder, when you seize by force a coastal settlement, pick one. I believe what we're going to pick is that we can quickly move any surplus found in the settlement back onto our boats.
Whoa.
Mhm.
Nice.
Oh,
Move the land onto the boats. Steal them out.
Is there another?
Take it.
Is there a surplus there? That,
Yes,
Riverfolk surpluses?
there are surpluses there. You could take from the Hua a surplus of recruits if you want to take prisoners. You could also take a surplus of raw materials. You could take a surplus of dyes and pigments.
I think you can't have multiple of a surplus, right?
No, you cannot.
Mechanically.
As
Okay,
far
and
as
we'll
I
have to go with-
know,
What do we know of the forgers? Are like the dying pigments? Are they mundane dying pigments? Or are they like used for magical stuff? Or
I
have you
think
bullshitted us
we've
into
already
thinking
used
they're-
them for magical stuff before.
Yeah.
They painted
Okay.
some heat resistant sigils on stuff.
But
Yeah.
I think it's interesting if we go for the dying pigments. The easy answer is raw materials, but dying pigments, like it looks weird. The Riverfolk
Mhm.
feel weird. Look at all that. We can use those for sails. We can repair our boats with those. You want these? You want this magenta fucking dust?
Luxuries.
That's so good.
that's very, very
all
good.
right. So
Oh, and you succeeded at your roll, right? So that means I
Yes.
get my influence on you back.
you get your influence back.
Nice.
Hey,
And neither was the influence die one of the highest or the lowest.
the influence die. It was.
Oh, you're right. I don't automatically do it. Excuse me.
Let me see. The one that rolled first, we'll say that was the influence side. That was a 6. So yeah, it was the highest.
Hey,
All right.
I'll get it back.
You get it back. All right, sweet. Well, we got all of that settled. Things were a little hectic for a moment. You had a vision of kind of Twilight Eclipse style of the war coming to a swift end, but not as decisive an end as you would have hoped. So, all right.
It's like in the textbooks, right? In like the stories, it's like they had a vision that the war will end and this battle and it will be glorious, and you're like, oh, I was
so
there.
new.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Shura and Dao and Shimali. We're all playing like a war game with miniatures. It's like,
That's what it was.
no,
for
you
sure.
can't.
Shot
Dao,
of
you can't.
everything
you can't.
crumbling.
If we do this, we'll just.
And then zooming out as they realize, oh, that's a terrible move. Hang on.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes, we technically we can end the war right now, but we won't have actually pushed the enemy back.
Yeah.
It's
It's one of those we just had a Prince of Persia Sands of Time moment where you're like,
Yeah.
wait, that's not how it happened. And you're like, you're telling the story.
Which
Why did
is
you say
fine.
you died?
Got carried away.
But it would have been cool, right?
Would have been. So you have you've pushed them back from Skyfire's sister. And it sounds like now we're going to zoom in real quick and take a look at this settlement up near Bangarum with the Tuskalords.
You're
Um,
also zooming in, right, Simon? So like we have
yes.
it's like two diplomats come in from both
Parallels.
sides. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about these diplomats.
Yes. One I have made for sure. No, I'm making. I'm almost done making my quick character.
All right. Well, I have a quick character.
Mm-hmm.
So my quick character is named Kaio.
Mhm.
He is a champion of the Woven with a specialization in diplomacy,
Mhm.
because that's the thing that makes the most sense. I changed the relationship from aunt to uncle. So he is the uncle of my main character for this age, who is no longer Chochi.
Oh,
It's a different character.
Mhm.
We have not yet met. So he is that character's uncle.
Oh, I like that.
And so maybe we'll learn a little bit about him through this scene.
Through his uncle. I like
Through-
that. And who from the sages is, or how does he look?
Yeah, so he is masculine, with a angular face, squinting eyes, and a graceful body. He is wearing his clothing that is heraldic of the woven. So it's one of those kind of ceremonial cloaks that I think we described a little bit last time, where it's like a bunch of quilted weepeel style patterns
Mm-hmm.
branded together, trimmed with quetzal feathers at the edges, and that's like thrown over his whole body as like both a cloak and a sort of like a tunic, with a long tunic underneath, of course. And it's cold in our climate. It's winter, but
Winter. Yeah,
right?
it's like winter in Texas.
yeah,
yeah. Jacket
Uh,
season.
yeah, a light jacket.
Get your jean
yeah,
jackets out.
Light jacket if you're not from there.
Yeah. So he's got like a longer sleeves,
Mhm.
and like tall boots on top of that. And he is wearing the half mempo the mempo mask, because this is not a trusted location yet. These are not trusted friends.
Right. These are potential enemies.
Yes.
Meanwhile, who have the sages sent?
The sages sent Bharat. Bharat uses he, she pronouns,
Mhm.
and is the spouse of Hiran. Hiran's a character who comes up every once in a while, so I don't know how many people actually remember her, but she's one of the major diplomats. He's got a feminine body, trusting face, calculating
Mhm.
eyes, and a heavy set body. I forgot what the actual term was. Yeah, that's what it is. He is a champion, so that's the role. And wearing like, I think he's also wearing like kind of like a red and gold sari, dressed to like as a diplomat is very much here to like is kind of dressed up a little bit to make it very clear.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's I'm here to do business. Is also a thing to note for the sages isn't carrying a sword or a censer,
Mhm.
but still has bells, has like those like bell anklets, so like you hear her walking as she
Shing,
walks
shing,
around.
shing,
Yeah.
shing.
Mhm.
Which I think has been the sound accompanying these two as they. How do you approach the city?
Oh,
Like, are you walking? Are you coming up the river? Are you mounted? Are you riding dinosaurs?
We're mounted.
yeah, gotta
Yeah.
be.
What
Uh,
dinosaurs are we riding? For those of you who don't know, we ride dinosaurs in this house.
Ooh, my favorite dinosaur, which hasn't been introduced to this world yet, are the Pachycephalosauruses, and I really want them to be like pulling
They were-
apart. Yeah, they're the fuckers who ran
Mentioned-
into each other's.
Yep, mentioned off screen last episode.
Oh yeah.
They're like chargers,
Mhm.
Uh,
like war horses a little bit.
And
I love-
Kaio.
Yeah, I think also riding another one of these beasts.
And I think you hear the like shing shing shing, and the two of you have been in conversation for a little, but as you drew nearer, that like tension settles in. The anticipation and the not the fear, but the uncertainty of knowing what you're riding into is heavy in the air. The city of Bangaram is peaceful. You can see its great windmill turning as you approach. You can hear the sounds of a normal city. but every now and then you feel the ground rumble a little bit, or hear a loud a trumpeting from one of the you have to make that gesture, make that sound. You can't not.
It's so
Um,
great.
And in fact, as you ride up, the ground shakes harder and harder as two of these great woolly mammoths come striding forward.
Uh-huh.
Each of them has a sort of mounted platform on their back, and carries one rider and three other people who are armed. Two of them have bows, and one of them has a very, very long pole arm. It's like a
Pokey
spear with a spear with like two curved hooks coming off on either side of it.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
They
Oh,
come right. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I just want to ask Simon again, what was your what are you trying to accomplish here?
We are trying to get the approval of the Ivory Riders to bring supplies through this territory
Okay.
to the Serpents.
Okay, cool. So we don't have anything that's conflicting. I just couldn't remember if we may have.
No, I don't think we're at this
Anything
moment.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Simon, your people have had like some minor dealings with trade from the Northwest, because your city of Covenant has spices from all over the world. So
That's true.
probably somewhere in Covenant is someone who is at least familiar with the Mammoth Riders, the Tusk Lords. What do they look like?
Oh, that's good. And also, while I'm thinking about it, what kind of city is Bangaram? Like, what's the
Oh.
vibe?
Mm.
Well, how I pictured it, I guess, because I was the one who put it on the map. If that's okay. Jack.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
absolutely.
So I turn to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spotlight,
I think it's like, so the original reason was that like it probably has a bunch of farmland.
Mhm.
And it's got a big windmill, is its landmark at least. So it's like it's got a very nice vibe. Like it's supposed to be like a chill place, because the initial reason was like was back in our first age. We need a reason, like we need a place to put like refugees. So I think it's like a lively kind of farm town that's like grown as as populations from all over Haven kind of come to it. And also the sages didn't have a home back then either, so there's like a bunch of sages here who probably keep it pretty chill. So that's the vibe.
Cool.
It's named Bungaram,
Excellent.
which means gold, so I'm assuming it's gold.
Yeah,
like
it's kind
golden,
of it's kind of
you know.
like it had the changers of coin, like
Mhm.
like opulent architecture that's been transformed by the sages of Cinder.
Mhm.
It's and the arbiters increased the size after the last age, so it's a wealthy golden city.
Oh dang, yeah, I love it.
And so what do the Mammoth Riders look like?
So I think these people, it's out of my area of expertise as a as a person.
Sure.
But I imagine, because we're dealing with this kind of South Asian, Southeast Asian area, I wonder if they have a little more of like a Mongolian aspect to them.
Yeah.
And so I am imagining they have probably a focus on furs. If they've got mammoths, the mammoths would just overheat and die down in the jungles. So like maybe they're uncomfortable here, but they're able to kind of persist in this weather. Or maybe they're a different kind of mammoth that has a little bit more resilience. But yeah, I imagine the average rider, like, I think most of them are trained for combat, or like are hunters,
Mm-hmm.
And so like furs, those kind of really, really sweet segmented pauldrons,
Yeah, I know
Ooh,
the
hell
the
yeah.
kind you're talking about.
the breastplates that are they're sort of like, I guess a Roman allegory is like the Lorica Sigmatata, the blocks of leather that kind of stack, metal
Oh, yeah.
baubles and things. What's that one tribe in the Orzammar? Rise of
Orzammar.
Karakan? Don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There's one group, Oseram, that's their names. These people that are very focused on construction and metals and like building things. I don't know. I think that's a. If you take a look at some of their concept art, I imagine there's some overlap. Of like, there's a weight to everything. Like,
Right.
Mammoth has kind of worked its way into everyone's aesthetic and personality.
So these writers, that's what you see approaching you, and these writers kind of stop enough distance away that you're definitely within their bow range, and one of them kind of blows a short blast with like 3 short blasts on a horn, and then kind of signals over to you. Who goes there?
Hold your fire.
Yeah.
I am Kyle of the Woven. This is my traveling companion. I mean you no harm. We are simply here to negotiate. We wish to speak with those in control. We have a humble proposition. I bring a humble proposition. My companion I cannot speak for.
I am a delegate from the Sages. My name is Butter.
You don't look that delicate.
Hmm? Oh my god. But like, I think just lets out like a beautiful laugh. Like, genuinely enjoyed that. I was like, oh, well, I am here to make friends, and that is a person I want to make friends with. Please let us in. No, I'd probably say that no more. Knock, knock. Open up the door.
DMX.
Awfully- it's real. Non-stop pop of stainless steel.
Steal.
Uh, well,
Would you
you,
please have us? Is I think what I say.
would we have you? That's awfully forward. You'd better come in the city before you embarrass us all. Buy me dinner first, at least.
We are humbled by the mirth that your people have to offer. We have much, I believe, to exchange. Yes, please let us go. Lead the way, and we will follow.
They turn, and I think the person speaking is like in the lead, on the lead elephant. The elephant behind them, or the mammoth behind them, hangs back to kind of ride along with y'all and kind of keep a closer eye. And one of the people with a bow says, he's great the first time you meet him, but then you still have to be around him 3 days later.
Truly, the patience of the Ivory Riders precedes them.
Oh my god. So good.
Inside, there is peace here. Bangaram is a thriving city. It is not quite a metropolis, though it one day may become so. Here, though, you do see like defensive walls have been built up around it, and you can see like on the outskirts of town, there are laborers working to put up I don't know if either of y'all would recognize the foundations of a watchtower, but that's what they're building. But within the city, life is continuing on rather nicely. You see more of the Tusk Lords, unmounted, just hanging out, not wearing their armor, but wearing the clothes of the people of Bangaram, because they're comfortable. They're they have kind of over the last however long, the last 2 seasons, adopted their ways, and as much as you've been winning hearts and minds, or they've been winning hearts and minds, so have the people of Bangaram been winning hearts and minds. Cultural influence is a two-way street.
Yep.
And you are brought to, I think there was a city hall here at some point, but you are brought to a structure that has been built near the Great Windmill. So you can hear the loud creak of the wooden blades as they swing by slowly, and it's very peaceful. It's the kind of sound that just fades into the background, but when your brain remembers that it's there, it's soothing.
I imagine on the walk, but kind of gestures to their, or talks to their guide, it brings me so much joy to see that my people here are happy, thriving, in fact.
Yes. It's why we came here. We were pleased to receive your invitation.
You were pleased?
We had thought that this place was under the thumb of the Marbled Empire. But instead, discovering that you had freed yourselves from their yoke, we were pleased.
I said it, everybody. You can leave stream now.
That was it.
Sadly, we found a people that were far too busy fighting with themselves to be prepared to defend against another threat, an outward one. So we have taken possession of this city, and given the people protection. They are a part of the Ivory Riders now.
Well, I mean, no disrespect, but they are still and were and should continue to be a part of the Sages.
Oh, well, I mean, they can be a part of the Sages, but they have joined with our people and are a part of our territory.
I think, oh yeah, go on.
Such assimilation has been a way of life for our people for many years, and it is a matter of survival. I, for one, cannot say that I blame those who are here for doing what they have, for being offered such grand hospitality.
I think, but it also kind of is kept a smile this whole time and is keeping it, but I feel like as the camera or whatever, you can see that it's I'm trying not to kind of go off a little bit. It's just well, as long as my people are happy, that is all that matters. Well, and of course, and then I think we kind of get to the thing, what we are here to speak of.
Yes, this is our leader. She speaks for us. She is one of well, I don't know if you're interested in our system of governance, but she is one of them.
We are here to learn as much as we are to make requests. Or at least I am.
In your language, her name is Bellflower. Bellflower looks the opposite of her name. She is a very dour, very wiry person. Her her body is very scarred and her muscles very knotted. But
Mhm.
she kind of commands the attention of the room, just like out of a force of habit. Very much like Wynn. She's someone who's been a warrior most of their life, and now is kind of in a position of leadership and does things the way she always has.
Honored Bellflower. Kaio kneels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, at least one of you has any damn sense.
I think Bunneth would have bowed at least. Like, definitely not to like the degree. Like, I feel like kneeling is like, well, you're just showing off. So like, I'm
Yeah.
fine with that statement, but like, Bunneth would have done something at least.
You will not do well for your people if you do not show deference. I will forgive my traveling companion, a wonderful conversationalist, but perhaps a bit rough around the edges. I am here to speak to you of a need for both of our people. Perhaps we can come to a mutual agreement. I am.
That's an awful lot of words to say you want something from me.
Let us speak plainly then. I have come on behalf of the Woven. We seek to bring supplies to an ally in time of battle. We are asking for your permission to be able to transport these supplies. Because you are the controllers of this city and its environs, it would be unkind of us to travel through so rudely without asking you if we may.
And you?
I asked something maybe a bit more. My request is that of an alliance. Not only do I wish for you to allow my traveling companion to bring their resources through this land. I am honored and I love seeing my people and yours live in cohabitation, and I wish for that to be the same throughout Haven. And it starts with us working together, opening our borders. We are not the Marbled Empire anymore. And what better way to declare that to the world than take up arms together, share our resources, push back against your vile brothers coming in from the north.
That's an awful lot of word to say. We surrender. Please take us under your protection. Very well, I accept.
Jordan,
You want to-
Sorry. Hold it in. Go.
Wow, you really said it out loud, huh?
I know. I just kind of broke my brain for a second.
And do you want to bring supplies up north? In that big city? It smells of the grave.
Yes, we have a alliance with the river folk. We wish to resupply after a most gruesome battle.
What did you think the world would be like when you were younger?
Oh, jeez.
Kaio looks around, sort of gestures at everything.
Mm-hmm.
I am no poet. I imagined something like this. We are woven. We are many threads brought together and stronger in unison. We hope to find a home where we are all woven in some way.
From what I've seen, all you're doing is fighting with each other. I'm trying to determine who gets to play the role of Emperor now that the Empire is gone.
I speak only for myself. I have no wish to wear the crown. And Tizpal, he is gone, made choices. He is a loud voice. Loud voices have led for a long time. Perhaps it is time for a different way.
That's why we're here.
You wish to bring a different kind of peace to Haven?
Ultimately, we do not want to see our brethren vile. Trampling roughshod all over everything. They can barely keep it together amongst themselves.
And you will be the one with your hands on the reins.
Oh, by the great tusk, I hope not.
But the riders, perhaps. It is strange. We have not seen the Ivory Riders in Haven for many ages.
Yeah. We've been fighting amongst ourselves. It seems to be all any of us can do.
We are not so different, our peoples.
Well, perhaps in another life we might have been friends.
Well, the sages do believe in many lives.
Oh, yes, your beliefs are fascinating. And she points at one of the warriors who you notice is wearing one of those the Woven's mempos.
Mm-hmm.
And then she points at another one who is like has the bells from the sages. They're not like wearing them correctly necessarily, but they in a way that makes sense for them.
Mm-hmm.
They like it for the aesthetic.
There's a little bit of like there's a cultural mixing, is what you said.
Yeah,
right?
there's a cultural mixing.
My balls.
It's not like they're just wearing dreads because that seemed cool, but they're trying. It's more like they're trying to fit in, but aren't doing it well
Yeah.
because they've only been at it for 2 seasons. Your beliefs, our people are nothing if not open-minded. Sometimes too open-minded. But I'm old. I have little patience for people who want to waste their time on foolish squabbling. I would rather see this. I would rather see someone try to convince everyone else that they are beset at all times by evil spirits and selling 70 different ways to repel 60 different kinds of spirits. There's people across a great forest from here that do that. We can be allies. We can let you move your supplies or soldiers or whatever you want up to the city. Just promise us that this won't end trading one imperial seat for another.
If I may be so bold, what is it to you if such things collapse?
Well, if such if such things collapse out of the chaos, someone else will try. Get the same idea. And they'll say there's only one way, one person, one idea that is right. What makes our people, fractious though they are and fighting with themselves too much, though they do, what makes our people strong is our difference of opinions. That's what makes us weak as well. But, you take the good with the bad. You eat a lot of butter, it makes your food taste delicious, but later on in life you have heart problems.
Hang on.
If there's one thing that is true about Haven,
Pancreas problem, sorry.
there's one thing that's true about Haven, and especially true about our people, especially the three of us here, is that we are not but one ideology. There's not but one person on the throne. We do not have crowns here.
No, I'll believe that when I see that. You have my trust and my alliance for now. We'll see how long you keep it. She looks the two of you up and down. And she doesn't say, I'm pretty sure I could take both of you in a fight. But she says it with it's like the opposite of undressing you with her eyes. It's like,
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes, here's how I kill you with my 2 hands.
yeah.
Brain.
It's not like it doesn't even take that long either. It's just like, yes, the same thing I do for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I respect you coming out here.
Roll to find common ground.
Yeah, I think that's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I use my skills as a champion, I get to say a secret about the situation and dictate how it helps me get an advantage, and I get fleeting advantage on my roll. So I think because we're talking about like strength and weakness and whatnot, I think it's as simple as Kaio knows that Bellflower's like you bow. Like I don't like being in control. I don't want to have to belabor the point. I just want to like get this done, but also need to feel like I'm in power. And so he like very much like gets onto his knees and takes out the dagger and offers up his personal dagger, and says, "We have no wish to fight. May it never come to blows, but I offer a token of exchange, as you have learned from others. This knife. I see you fight well. I would be honored if you would exchange one of your armaments as a sign of our own trade."
Roll.
All right. So
when you find common ground, you roll. When you ask someone to do something for you, roll plus cunning. On a hit, they'll do it for you if you meet their terms. On a 7 to 9, I pick 2, and both must be met. On a 10 plus, you pick 1, and or on a 10 plus, I only pick 1. So roll, and we'll see what happens.
I got a 6, a 4, and a 6. It's a 12 plus my 2 cunning, so it's a 14. And you
Okay. They'll do it as long as they can back out as soon as the task costs them anything.
Yeah.
All right.
So the agreement is that we can transport things through there until it becomes like a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think you should also roll find common ground.
Yeah. I am also a champion, so I want to reveal a secret about the situation. I think
You got
the
a Glock in
secret.
your back pocket.
Wait.
There you go.
Oh my god.
All right. So the people. No. So the I think the secret is that like many of the people from Bungatum, like, even though the Tusslords are here and are like, yeah, we're friends, we're cool, right? I think they still feel a disconnect, a worry about like their relationship with, family and friends and like from the rest of the world. It's like, well, can we leave? Like, what's that? I mean, like, there's just an uncertainty, I think, in the actual people from the Sages suddenly kind of, because even the Tusslords are using like, well, we occupied it, we've taken this land, it's ours now. You know what I mean? I think like Buddha goes, I did not bring you a gift, but I do bring you an invitation. Many of the people in Mahasmasanam are family and friends of those here, and we are neighbors. And our doors have been closed for a little too long. Come for a meal. Allow our people, your people, to further know of the hospitality of Haven.
You two have been diplomats all your lives. I feel like I have a lot to learn from both of you. I was a warrior, and now I'm trying my best to be a peacemaker. I'm afraid I'm not very good at it. And she kind of reaches towards, she just like reaches a hand out, and one of her attendants brings her like this recurved bow, and she presents it to you, Kaio. And to Buddha, she says, "Come for dinner, huh? I'll tell you what. Why don't you roll plus find common ground, and then I'll tell you what she says." Getting ahead of myself.
That's what she says.
That's what she says literally. I'll tell you what I think after you roll the dice.
Oh my god.
Sonny Jim. You're not getting anything out of me. Not till I see those bones go across the table.
I got a 9.
Oh, good.
I also, just to be clear, I realized I forgot to assign my stats. So.
Yeah.
But so it comes like, wait, I should have a bonus in cunning, shouldn't I?
You should.
But yeah,
you should.
okay, cool.
So you got a 9. She wants to add a specific thing to the task, and she also wants you to reduce the threat you pose. Well, yeah. No, give them something now that's better.
Give them something now.
Yes, and so what she says is, stay here. I could use help. As I said, I'm a warrior, and you are a peacemaker. I need to learn that. I need you to teach me.
Ooh.
You both may stay and help us run this place and keep it safe.
Okay. Is my stipulation also moving over to Kaio, like as well, both of us?
Just you specifically needs to stay, but she's extending the invitation to Kaio.
Okay. I heard you too.
All right.
That's why I was asking. Yeah.
Well, I mean, no one likes Bono, so. You are able to move your supplies. You are able to secure your alliance. Chamali, while we're zoomed in, real quick, Chamali, you are out at sea.
I don't know about Chamali.
You have been out at sea for months. It feels like, because you missed the events of the Bloody Feast.
Right.
You've been kind of swimming through the depths of the ocean with your new friend. This what do you call the plesiosaur that you're riding?
Oh, that's a good question. I should have
That's
thought
fine.
of that. It can talk, right?
Yeah, it can talk.
Okay, you have to think of its name then. I asked it what its name was.
Yeah, it does the I don't have it would have told you I don't
Your
have a
primitive
name.
human concept of names. Okay.
I have always been. I have never needed a name for myself.
I have always
People
been
need-
alone.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's too sad. Let's see. What's a name that means that you're not alone anymore?
Wait, one of the winds is here, right? Or do they all die?
All but one.
Okay,
Oh.
just wondering.
No, I think that wind we decided was regurgitated at some point and then tried to dive back down to kill this thing, but apparently was unsuccessful.
Not very
All
successful
right,
at
yeah.
all.
Whoops.
I didn't
Oh,
know
no.
that.
Okay.
You just went down the wrong tube. Difficult to navigate in there.
Yeah, who knows what the
I
anatomy
always
of that
hated
thing.
that dungeon in Ocarina of Time.
Oh my god.
To carry Win around and then set them down on a switch.
But I loved that dungeon in Devil May Cry 3, so you know. It always worked out.
We'll call it Jabu Jabu. Okay.
One of these days we'll talk about a game I played.
Sorry.
Only
Well,
when
you know,
Disney-
when they have a dungeon taking place inside of, or I'm sorry, a strike that takes place inside of one of the stupid hive worms. They're all a
Excuse
bunch
me,
of
you apparently
chumps.
have not played The Last Wish.
I haven't.
Okay, so it's a rainbow colored plesiosaur, so I'm gonna call it Rainbow.
All right.
Oh,
A suitable name.
Yes, you know, one of my theories before I came down here was that there was actually a living rainbow that got hit by the meteor and pulled out of the sky. Turns out that I was not right about that, but I'm still compelled by it.
Would that not be fascinating someday?
I think we really just got lucky, you know? Rainbow could get hit by a meteor anytime.
oh my
Do
god.
Do you understand where the rainbows come from?
Nope.
Do you want to know?
No. It's
You
one of our
are-
great mysteries.
You are such a curious creature.
Wait, Ashan is there, right? Because the
Yeah,
rest
you're
of
there.
everyone is there. I think Ashan's
You're like, I
there,
want to know.
as a
Oh.
scholar is there to like learn about this. Is all like, oh,
Yeah, we all got swallowed up by that.
yeah.
Couple in like, oh, your eminence, I believe this is.
Well, you're not.
Where's
You're
my
not
damn parchment?
like it. It let you all out of its mouth, and then it bit the marble pillar, and then before it went away, it like bent its head down so that
like
Shamali could climb aboard. So
Okay.
if the rest of you wanted to go, you could absolutely have been there, but you're not like in its
You're not
mouth.
like hostage.
We haven't been
Yeah.
shadowed for like the last 6 months.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
we're inside of Waymon. We're moving away from File Island to the main continent to the server continent. I forgot the name of the actual. This is a Digimon reference. It's cool. All right. His name is
Proceed.
Waymon now.
Carry on with your tale.
You are such a strange bunch of creatures, always going off on tangents about.
Actually, Ashan would if this is how we connect. This is the real Ashan from. This is a Digimon reference. You don't know what Digimon is? No.
Okay, so this is canon real Ashan now.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
No.
Never- Look at
They
it.
just, it's coincidence
Vetoed.
that they happen to have a broken sword and the same name.
It's a leitmotif.
It's an homage.
It's an homage.
Um,
Christ.
Middle fantasy.
Let me just use my essay from this other class. This fucking class.
you. You do know why I am here, do you not?
I was hoping it was so that you could bite all of the marble pillars and help us heal the land. Is that not where we're going? To another one of those?
And the Leviathan, as it has done for these many months, dives deep beneath the ocean again. And you all are kind of like able to breathe the water. Those who are with it are able to breathe the water whenever it dives beneath the surface and aren't
nice.
swept along by the currents when it goes. I think you've probably spent as much time beneath the waves as you have above the surface, and you come to the what you recognize now, having seen it once before. You come to the crater that is the meteor, where the meteor fell once long ago, and now you've been circling this area for a while, right? And you come to this place where there are just shards, finally, of a dark metal and stone that are all over the place. It looks like it looks like this was part of something larger, and now at the very and not even at the center of this crater, but it looks like it's been dragged to one of the edges.
Woo.
So just to kind of give a picture of where, if we look over on the map, if the meteor was at the dead center of this crater, it's been dragged over to like this edge and it seems to be in fragments.
Okie dokie.
Mike was muted. Oh. The ashes are over here, right? That's Ash territory?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just wondering.
Although we're not
We
there.
Right, yeah.
we are too long away from this. I am here not to bite pillars of marble. I have a greater purpose than that. My purpose was to protect. Now, I fear my purpose will be to destroy.
Destroy what?
And it says that, and it gestures with its head. You see a large shadow moving in the darkness of the depths of the ocean. And that's where we're going to go to break, everybody.
Whoa.
So let's, we're going to take a 5 to 10 minute break. We're going to run a brief ad to support the channel. Everyone else, take a minute, do a bio break if you need to, get some fluids, get some solids, put them into your body or take them out of your body. Whatever you got to do, go do it. Stretch, move your body, because we've been sitting here for a while. Get some gamer fuel, eat some Baja Blast flavored Doritos if they exist. I might have just fever dreamed them. Whatever you got to do, go do it, and we'll see you shortly.
Wait.
We're here.
Welcome back, everyone, to the birthplace of Mammoth Butter and Baja Blast Doritos. Once again, this is All Nerds here. We are playing Haven, Land Reclaimed, an actual play of Legacy Free from the Yoke by Mina McJanda and Fyodor Kasatkin. When last we left, Chimali was riding atop a giant, and I do mean giant, rainbow plesiosaur beast, along with a retinue of others, and had asked, what are you supposed to protect from, and what might you have to destroy? And the answer was that, and there is a dark shape moving in the water.
This is so fun.
It is a
Great.
a very, very big shape that seems to kind of coalesce into it's got, I think squid-like is the right word.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
There's no squid like dinosaurs.
warning if no, there aren't. This is squid-like because the dinosaur that it is hold on, yes, it is based off of a megalodon. Because sharks are still dinosaurs and are still around. And this shark is miles long and big. It's bigger. It's as big as a city, if not bigger. Yeah, the plesiosaurus is as big
A
as a mountain.
word?
So is this shark. Yeah.
Kaiju.
Okay, so is it how much? What's the scale compared to my guy?
Well, let's go to the map and we'll find out.
Draw it
shall we?
on there.
I'm gonna draw it on here. You can see my good drawing.
Yes, I'm very excited for this.
I love the plesiosaur's little teeth. Every time I look at it, I love its teeth.
So good.
Who drew that in the first place? Was that JR?
I don't know who drew it in the first place.
Oh no.
That's not a
I
shark.
drew the critter.
Oh my god.
Oh.
That's Shai Hulud. That's a sandworm.
That's a sandworm.
This is very big.
Okay, I'll start with
That's
the fin.
that's the Shai-Hulud's music coming into the ring with a steel chair.
Jesus.
Bless the maker in his passing. The worm is the spice is the worm. That's more shark-like.
There we go.
And some little gills.
More than one person drawing this?
Nope, that's just me. There's an
It's just
eye.
Molly.
With
It's-
two
you're
hands?
fucked.
It looked like it
Yeah.
was moving two places at once. That was amazing.
The update's weird. Oh, that thing is ginormous.
Damn.
It's a big shark,
Big.
but it's got tentacles too.
And it's got tentacles. It's an octo
It's,
shark.
yeah.
Sharktopus.
Shark. That's the
There
word.
it
Thank
is.
you.
Sharktopus.
I was gonna say a squid, but yeah, sharktopus works.
Squid. Doctor, have you seen the squid lately? I need my tartar sauce
And
for my
in this
squid dinner.
in this shark's mouth are gleaming shards of this ore, and you can see like it is becoming flecked with starlight and taking on an inky black shape, and these tentacles coming out of it seem to be made of darkness itself rather than or shadow or possibly the cosmos. Either way, it it kind of rushes towards you all. What do you do, Jamali?
Ooh. Good question. Good thing I've got magic powers now and I'm not just a
You
diplomat.
have magic. Yeah.
I befriend it. Let me grab
Tame it as a pet,
two
like every
kaiju
other
pets.
role player.
We've already tamed one giant dinosaur as a pet, and also regular giant dinosaurs as a pet. Regular sized dinosaurs, which are still giant.
yes. We've Gigantamaxed the dinosaurs, and now we're fighting.
Yes,
Yeah, that's what's
perfect.
happening.
Okay, I've got a good.
Wait, hold it back. Wait.
Can I unearth forgotten lore about this guy?
Yeah, you can
have a
unearth
cool
forgotten
vision
more
to
about
learn
this.
about it. That seems
Absolutely.
good, right?
So yeah, so you want to have a vision?
Yeah, I'm just
Tell
gonna
me
stare
more
directly into
about-
its void eyes,
Okay.
as you do, and just sort of let them like grow and swallow up my whole field of vision.
Hmm.
Oh.
Good. Now, just a reminder, we haven't added Vor yet to our CWs, but we might.
You never know.
Go ahead and roll Unearth Forgotten Lore. When you investigate a landmark or ritual, this counts as a landmark
Basically a
from the
living
past.
landmark.
Roll plus lore.
Oh yes! Look at this. I promise. I did not fudge these dice. I got
Yeah,
an
hell
11.
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, no, if you fudge the dice, you would have rolled like a -3. That is a
Yeah,
joke for people who
that's
played
a fake
Fate.
joke. I
Yeah,
got you.
we're like three of us.
The three of us, as the three of us just kind of nod like, yeah, no, Those dice hate you. What do you ask? What do you want to know? And do you have another move for Unearth Forgotten Lore, or is that
I have a little bonus bit that I can do. So let me bring up the regular move.
Yes.
Bonus.
Fucking do whose ancestors are most tied to it? What is it made to remember? What dangers is it hiding? How can I draw on this for power? Wow, that would be a baller move.
Hey, you
And
can.
In addition, I get one extra question, and I can pick from who might know more about it, what spirits have walked this place, and what vision do I have about its future or past.
Mhm.
So I would like to have a vision about its past for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's
So
one
you
of
have-
my 3 questions.
All right.
Uh,
Go ahead. What are the other two? Because maybe we can answer some of them with
let's
this.
draw on it for power. That seems extremely sick.
Fuck
How
yeah.
can I draw on it for power?
And
And
whose ancestors are most tied to it?
all right. So you stare into its void eyes, and the void stares back intently. You find yourself falling forward, and the sea around you is gone. You can still feel the cool water against your face. You can still hear sound muffled for a time, but even that fades as you stand in absolute nothingness. Here in this void, you feel movement. You feel a yearning. You feel a call. You hear a call. Someone somewhere needs you. And then there is the sensation of falling. And then there is the sensation of arrival. You experience a multitude of changes all at once. You feel water like rushing all around you. You feel the world being too hot, then too cold, and you realize that ages upon ages upon ages are passing by, and you are sitting and waiting and hungering. A part of you has been missing, and you are here to get it back. There is a hunger within you. And then, so how can you draw upon it for power? And whose ancestors is it most closely tied to? Is most closely tied to the ashes of Prithvi, who were among the first people to re-emerge onto land after the seas receded from this place and revealed Haven. If you recall, in the ancient past, before Veeb, the audience will know this, but Chimali not necessarily, but Veeb had a vision of her people kind of making a pact with spirits to live amongst them. They were an aquatic people then. And wanted to endure a great calamity that was coming upon them as the ocean levels were falling. So they dwelt with spirits of the land for a while, and they did that by calling down the stars. That too was catastrophic, and with the stars, they called down more than they had bargained for. So it is most closely tied to the prehistoric ancestors that were that would become one day the ashes of Prithvi. But in a way, it's kind of everyone else that's native to this land's ancestors. And how can you draw on it for power? You could presumably, if you cut out the shards of meteors that it has ingested, you would be able to draw upon its power.
Wow.
Fair.
Just gotta get a knife thick enough to cut in, I guess.
Right.
Get a little piece.
Need some Monster Hunter scale weapons.
Yeah. Or go down its mouth. I mean, I guess that's. We're not new to that anymore.
The
plesiosaur kind of tries to shield you all as best as it can, clashing with this thing. You have a moment as the titans clash. What do you do?
Oh boy. Is anybody else around and want to do anything?
Oh.
Yeah, would Ashan and I
Could have stuck
can't remember
around
his
if you
name.
wanted to.
The
Jolene?
Bone Warden. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he was there on a mission to investigate, and like, I
Those
think he
questions got
got out.
answered. Yeah.
yeah, I think he's out.
Right. When Troy's like, hey, you want to go on adventures with me in the ocean to completely unknown destinations for unknown reasons? He was like, I'm good.
Yeah, Chamali was like, I gotta go be the Silver Surfer right now, so
Yeah.
Oh my god. No. Then maybe Ashan isn't there either, because I think that would be interesting if it's like Chamali's like, I gotta go do this, and then
yeah,
For me.
I think
Ashan's
that's pretty good.
like, I shall let you go.
So, Chamali, what do? You are there.
Let's see here.
These
I'm-
two great titans are battling with each other right now.
Yeah, that's cool. How far down are we in the ocean? Are we at the seafloor?
Yes.
Cool. So, I'm gonna do something that's pretty dumb.
I love
and
it.
See how it goes, which is jump off of the plesiosaur and float down to the seabed, and then I'm going to like push my hands down onto the ground and try to make it raise up using the bones of the earth ritual.
Ooh, I like this. Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me what the ritual does and what you want this magic to do as you enact a ritual.
Yeah. So this one says, you may draw on the stability and resolve of the earth, reinforce a structure with ramparts of rock, or crack open the earth to release a gout of water, a vein of valuable minerals, or the earth's scorching red blood. I think creating an underwater volcano just temporarily, or some sort of, geothermal vent or whatever it is I can get down here, couldn't hurt, right? Yeah, let's try
mean-
that.
I believe in you.
Yeah. Roland plus lore. Aha. Well, that is a 3 plus 2 is 5.
Oh
Right,
no!
You're bound to catch up with me one day. I got too many
Oh
good
my
rolls.
god.
No.
There they are. F's in the chat for
F's in the
Shimali.
chat,
Oh
indeed.
my god.
No.
Oh, Fungin Dan's in
Oh.
the chat.
Dungeons out.
So you place your hands on the ground, and a crack does indeed open up.
Oh, good.
And something comes out, but it is not geothermal venting, nor is it a gout of water or lava or anything like that.
It's bees.
It is. It's bees. Yep, you got me. It's underwater bees.
Sea
They
bees!
swarm everywhere, just like
Get down!
And you're like, no.
Not the
and one of
bees.
them's voiced by Jerry Seinfeld, and it's
No.
like been in the Bee Movie the whole time.
Ah!
Don't tempt me. No, but what does come out is more of the meteor that had been embedded in the sea floor, scattered when it crashed.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of
And-
sense.
The tendrils of, and now that they're close, you can see they're kind of tendrils of ink.
Mm-hmm.
Grab hold of it and take it into the shark, and
Yoicks.
grows. Now instead of having 8 extra appendages, it has 16, and it seems not like
not in control of itself anymore. If that makes sense.
Yep.
This shark is kind of thrashing about like it was never meant to hold this. It was never meant to be this. And turmoil goes up to 7 as the land is rocked by massive tidal waves.
Whoops. I knew I was going to regret putting Skyfire Peak on a coast one of these days.
The Leviathan, your plesiosaur hightails it out of there as quickly as it can.
Oh, later,
so
bud. Does that mean
Well,
I just drown?
No, it's taking you with it.
Okay, cool.
It
Just
like
checking.
scoops you up in its mouth as you go.
Nice, very good.
It's safe there. It's
much
safe.
safer than the alternative.
You would end up in someone's mouth either way. This one's a friendly mouth.
Yeah.
May we all, at the end of the day, end up in a friendly mouth.
Oh my god.
So, let's cut back to
Please.
the rest of Haven. What are you all doing? Now that you have secured the alliance of the Ivory Riders, what did the rest of you want to do?
Well, I believe the Woven were just going to transfer the supply of materials to the River Folk. Because I think that was the big thing that was, it stalled and we needed to get through those lands.
Yeah.
So now that we have the agreement, I think that clears off the travel requirement.
Yes. So all of that stuff gets there. So that's 2 on the progress track.
And I'm going to remove
And-
my surplus of raw materials.
What I like is that y'all can win at any time.
Those raw materials go to the river folk or to the arbiters?
They go to the river folk, right? Or to whomever they're going to.
Yeah.
But the arbiters, are happy about it, and that's what they want.
That's the
But mechanically, are the river folk holding them?
You have a surplus of raw materials.
nice.
Yes.
Okay, so I am flush with resources again.
Ah.
Oh.
Excellent. So what do you choose to do when you're flush with resources? It is a new age, so go ahead and trigger that.
Yeah.
When you are flush with resources, when your mood would go above 3+, you trigger flush with resources. You fall into crisis when it would go below -3. So pick one. You can trade the surplus for information. So erase the surplus first, and you can ask me a question from Read the Wind and be in a great position to take advantage of it. You can gift the excess to your allies and gain advantage with Reach until the end of the age. Make a show of power and gain advantage with Grasp until the end of the age. Gain an advantage with Sleight by investing in a network of informants, or invest in better equipment and permanently unlock one more asset option.
I think we are going to make a show of force in the retaking of Skyfire's sister and gain advantage with Grasp, because that will help us in the war efforts.
Nice.
Excellent.
We will remove morale.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You were bringing morale to the war front. You brought it. You've made a show of force by raising that morale. Everyone in Skyfire Peak and Skyfire Sister kind of take shelter from these tidal waves. Something is happening in the ocean.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Weird.
Uh-huh. Funny how I just saved your people now.
Yeah. I
You're gonna
contributed in
just
my own way by powering up the most powerful enemy we've ever seen.
Speaking of enemies,
yes.
Rue, the body of
My enemy.
not the body, but rather an urn containing ashes is brought to the temporal temple, or brought to the places where the ashes of Prithvi are live near the temporal temple. It is left on the doorstep outside of the where the triumvirate rule. There is a message along it that identifies it as the body of Veeb, and it contains instructions on how the ashes can join with the Empire, if they so desire.
Boo!
Ooh.
Yanky.
Huh?
I think it
Asshole.
I think it even kind of includes language of you must do what she could not.
Oh!
Interesting. I think these are brought in. Huh. This would be after the feast and everything, right? So it would be time for Jahi and the others to return.
Yes, yeah. This is into the next season, into the winter.
Got it. Let's see.
So, what are you thinking? That they bring it in, or
Yeah, I think they would bring it in. So they have a space where they kind of keep old relics that Veeb made,
Mhm.
where they're not necessarily like, oh, these are ancient texts that we're going to stick to. It's more like we place them here, and if we find that there's something useful here, we'll add it into our culture. But otherwise, they're just there as like things to peruse from our ancestors. And I feel like they would just put that in there and kind of be like, all right, that's interesting, but not necessarily like make a move about it yet, especially because it's in regards to Veeb. And even though she wasn't a leader anymore, this would be the type of thing that they would bring to her. So they're like,
Mhm.
oh, okay.
mm-hmm. When it's brought in, because we'll recall Veeb's body dissolved to ash, but those ashes aren't the only thing inside the urn, and mist emerges from within.
What?
And standing there is none other than Dumond, the Fist of Empire.
Oh.
Wow.
The Hand of Empire, I should say. He's not a fist right now.
It's
God damn it.
I've come to see if you will accept my offer, or if you will choose, as others have, the way of endings. Mock me as evil if you must, but understand that I am the only hope your people have. Look at you even now. You've barely held it together enough to fend off the Hua. You will not stand against them long, especially once our reinforcements arrive to aid them. This land will be conquered again. I offer you a chance to join it in peace. That is what we will bring. We will bring the peace of the Empire.
Very interesting to say to the Ashes, who lost like so many people to the Empire.
Yes, I know that you have lost so many people to us. That was a mistake.
Hmm.
That was a mistake your people made, and I am giving you an offer to correct it. Do as they should have and join us. Do you not understand? People want to be ruled. People's better natures. Better natures. They do not exist. All of you, every last person alive is greedy and selfish and is able only to look out for themselves in order to fight for others, in order to help someone beyond your own house, beyond your own shores. You must be made to do it. You will not do it on your own. I have seen it time and time again. People want authority. They want masters or gods. And when they cannot find them, only chaos reigns. It takes a monster to say that. Enforce that. If one must be monstrous to bring about the peace and prosperity of all, then so be it. But your people are young yet. You have your lives ahead of you. You have wisdom in youth. Perhaps you have the benefit of a new perspective, and perhaps you will join. You must see how it is, do you not?
I think most of the council leaders are just kind of looking at each other, kind of unsure. Because there has been a little bit of a split within the Ashes of people who are happy to like pull in ideas from the Empire. So they're like, well, we did take stuff from them, and I don't know. But I think Jahi would step forward.
Yes.
And would just say, you think a lot of yourself, don't you, with these words? You seem to think you have everything figured out. I've seen, well, I guess I haven't seen it because I wasn't alive for it, but I know that our people have had that hubris before, thinking we knew where the tides were flowing and that we could outrun danger if we just sided with the right side. We went with the Empire, figured that would save us, and my ancestors learned what would happen if that did. And now we're paying the price for their mistakes. The Ashes are different from the Prithvi Tatvan that were there before us. They had traditions that they stuck to for centuries, and they weren't wrong about those traditions. But they were also immovable and unwilling to change. And so we're different. Not saying that alliance might not be tempting, but I don't think that we're very interested in an alliance with the Empire that took more than half of our people.
Very well. I respect your decision. We will be seeing each other again. And when we do, know that you had a chance to avoid all of this. And then I think he leaps out of the building,
Oh.
kind of fading into mist.
Vampire.
I think Jahi like runs to the window because he's like, damn, I didn't get my like a last line. He's like, I hope so. I hope we do.
Yes, good. Yes.
Good. Yes, very good. Oh yeah, he's been a Dracula for a long time.
Dracula all along.
Would I don't know if Jahi would recognize the golden axe that the captain wears at his hip now. As
I mean, Veep had it. For
Veep
10
had it.
years.
That's true.
For 10
So
years,
yeah, you would have recognized that golden axe as Veeb's axe that was given to her by Wynn.
Wait, oh my god.
That's right.
You gotta take it back.
Yeah, I think he has that spear that was given to him by Veep, and he just is gripping it, and then he turns around to the urn with the ashes,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't even do a ritual or anything. He just opens it up, looks at it, and then closes it up, and is like, "This isn't all of it." You need to go find the rest.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love that.
Get that back.
Excellent. Also, you have control of that ancient temple now. By the way,
Okay.
seasons change, so you definitely have control of that.
Here, and the rest are there.
Checking in with the Woven. So one of the things I know you were doing, your character is going to be doing, was investigating the Hua. Yes.
Yeah, that is definitely the plan.
All right. What are some of the things that you want to do to try and do that? Now that you've successfully delivered some surpluses.
Yeah, we've paid off some of our obligation to the river folk
Mhm.
after our brutal uprising, and now that we're sort of leveling off, I think we're reallocating our concern towards dealing with the Hua, who are at our borders and on our shores. And I think to that end, I think we need to send some scouts. I don't think we're ready to make any actions per se, but I do think we need information. That's what we need. And so
Mhm.
I think that probably translates mechanically into reading the wind as we send some people out to start to get a sense of what are they doing, where are they moving, how can we stop them.
It sounds like a read the wind to me.
So it's a 9,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a 1 in reach, so that's a 10.
Ooh, that is a 10.
Ooh.
All right.
Nice.
So you want to know what they're up to, and you get to mark the map with a sign the answer and gain
Yeah.
fleeting advantage while working on that. So the Hua, after recouping from their losses in the north, are reinforcing their supply lines. Their movements are shifting, so instead of coming straight across here, they're kind of coming down to here. If you look over on the map,
Mhm.
they're kind of coming down and around instead, avoiding the big bay for some strange reason.
I wonder what that's about.
But also they've been getting reinforced, and the weapons they carry are imperial weapons, and like there are imperial troops with them. Like you would recognize that. And so I think one of the things that you would know to like that would kind of disrupt them is breaking their lines either from the islands to here to the shore where they've taken hold, or finding some way to like root out the imperial influence that's backing them, because it's like
Yeah.
it's very much like, you know, on their own it might be a fight, but they're able to move so quickly and make such progress because it's like two forces kind of hitting you at the same time.
How do we get access to the Imperial VIP that's making all the shots?
I think the way you get access to that is by capturing the landing point here.
Okay.
That's or the other way you could gain access to them. And I'll give you a choice. So you can either capture the like place where the Hua are coming in, or you can capture their like your people know that there must be some kind of supply base somewhere along the coast, somewhere not too far along to bring ships, because the Empire doesn't really have like a navy.
Right.
So whatever they're sending must be coming along the coast if they're not coming through the mountains. So somewhere along here is probably a secret hidden Imperial fortress.
I think that's what we're going to deal with then. We'll probably dispatch someone to investigate where that supply line is.
Who will you dispatch?
Well, I happen to have a scout.
Hey!
And I think we're going to send one of our best and brightest to go deal with that problem.
Tell us about this scout.
Yeah, so my new face character for this age is a scout. His name is Ozamatli. He is... I'm changing my name real quick, even though we only have a teeny bit more time. He is masculine, with a young face, bright eyes, and an energetic body. He is in his early 20s. He's like very much kind of like a runner's build, kind of constantly moving, overconfident to a fault, very, very like high energy, very like full of himself in a sense. He has close cropped hair, I think like the undercut that ties up. His spirit beam mask, obviously. And whenever the camera centers in on him when he goes out, I think he'll be wearing a practical outfit for the Woven. So the kind of the tunic, very muted colors. He is very much trying not to be noticed because he's going to be skulking around.
I love it.
And I think he'll add, because he is a scout, he gets to add a tag to his outfit when he prepares. And so he'll take the subtle tag on his practical outfit.
Very
you just
cool.
have to add a tag like for free.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Some people get that as their move, and that's pretty cool.
that's pretty cool.
Okay, cool. So he heads out there. Do you what moves do you have as a scout? Do you have anything like that might be helpful here?
Yeah, I think he's got I went whole deep into this. I've got 3 bravery, 0 might, 0 cunning, -1 lore. My 2 moves are range far and wide, which allows me to show up in scenes that I'm not in, potentially carrying danger along with me. And of note for this particular excursion, know your adversary. When you have the time and the advantage, a vantage point to study your foe unobserved, I gain hold equal to my bravery, and I can spend that hold at any time to do things like remove key weapons from my enemy, separate my target from their allies, shut down an action the target is making, and identify what I'd need to take them down.
Excellent. So I think you've got time, thanks to your reading the wind. I think we've got time for you to observe your enemy unseen for a while. And so go ahead and mark the map. I kind of have shown you the general area.
Yeah.
Somewhere in here, there is an Imperial base that is hidden and kept out of sight. If you were to ask me, I would say it's probably in one of these 2 coves, but I mean, it could be wherever. We can do whatever we want. We're middle fantasy.
I think it makes sense that it's probably not on the other side of the mountains, because that would probably be really hard. But I like the idea that it's sort of under the forger's nose by the white wall.
Yeah.
I think so as well, especially since that place is kind of empty right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really not you. So that was, as we recall, where the forgers built mechs during the war.
But
and
yeah,
this
it's very
whole
shunned now.
industrial wasteland is kind of
Yeah.
to the west of that. So I think
And
it's, like, just below there.
tell me a bit about what this base looks like. What is it how is it hidden? Is it just like geographically hidden? Is it kind of cleverly hidden to like be a part of the mountain?
I do like the cove idea. I think it's kind of using some of the natural terrain to obscure it. So there's like some foliage that kind of goes over the cove, and then if you went under it, it's one of those situations where there's like a cliff overhang, and then under that there's rocks, and then there's a cave.
Yeah.
So it's built into the cave on the
I like
coast.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's very good. And what was your character's name again?
His name is Ozo Motley.
Ozomatli. So what Ozomatli sees is that there are lots of people coming into and out of this fortress, this cave. You can see like there are movements not just of soldiers which are sent to the Hua, but there are also strange tools that are being brought into the mountain, or into the cave. I think you might recognize like the and again, this is like a middle fantasy version, so you might recognize like the Uri, like the big like star map globe thing. There's
yeah.
there's a large one of those that's kind of offloaded from a ship and brought inside. There is different like crates full of equipment and different figures that some are armed and armored, most are, but some are decidedly like, you know, they're wearing like imperial uniforms, but they're not like soldier uniforms. If that makes
Interesting.
sense. Yeah.
So it seems like they're just bringing in supplies. This is like absolutely where they're rearming, and they've got some other weird stuff that they're working with.
Yes.
I think I'd like to spend a hold as
Absolutely.
he's like kind of clambering down the rocks. This is Motley is like, he's a very athletic young lad. His name means monkey in Nahuatl. And so he scrambles down the rocks and like kind of dives into the surf. And I think he's got some like middle fantasy remote explosives, like satchel charges.
Yeah.
Because the river folk absolutely, I feel like, have this kind of stuff. They
They've got-
love.
They've
blowing
got
stuff
middle
up.
fantasy firebombs.
Yeah.
They've got middle fantasy napalm.
So I think he's got a few like of these explosives with him that he like smears some tar or something on the side of the ship and plants it on them and just like smiles to himself and laughs a little bit under his breath as he's like planting them, like and then dives back under the water. So I spend a hold to I guess this is either remove a key weapon or shut down an action the target. Shut down an action the target is making. He wants to like blow up the ships and like make it harder for them to bring supplies in here.
I like
So he's
that.
like, it's a montage of him doing that on the ship and then sneaking in and like at various crucial points planting some of
the
these
tra-
bombs.
I think there's
on,
a
like,
moment
rocks.
where he kind of overhears some of the conversation and it becomes clear that there are like the imperial version of bone wardens is probably how he would imagine it. Their own like magical researchers and stuff are here, and this base is a forward outpost, and they're studying what's been happening in Haven.
Okay. I think while he's studying them in the shadows and kind of lurking in the the damp cave, I'm going to spend my second hold to identify what I need to take them down.
Yes. So in order to take them down, you would probably need. You would probably need to, like, you could collapse the cave, but from what you can see, like, the network goes in a ways, and like it's more like a bunker carved down here and hidden, or built into the word. So you could perhaps like seal it, or you could, if you had a time or soldiers or something, you could lead a raid against this and take them out as well. Or you could perhaps try and like lure out the key personnel and take them out one by one or something like that.
Yeah.
Like some
Ultimately,
kinda-
is a very foolhardy person, but he's not like that foolhardy, so he's not going to attempt that here.
Yeah.
He's going to file it away for later on the assumption that like blasting some charges out here will disrupt plans. But I think the last thing that he wants to do before scrambling out of here, and now that he's kind of assessed the situation, is you said they had kind of Imperial weaponry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it include gun spears?
Oh, it definitely includes gun spears.
Okay. I want to spend my final hold to try and steal some of those by removing a key weapon from my enemy.
All right. I like that. Yeah. Let's say you gain some gun spears.
Like throw them in a duffel bag or something.
Yeah, you throw them in a duffel bag before you
A nice
before
middle
you
bag.
you swim away. And well, they had duffel bags in fantasy times. They had duffel bag forever.
A canvas sack, yeah,
Yeah, a canvas sack.
with a shoulder
Zip-
strap.
I mean, like, but the zippers could have shown up anytime in history, really.
It's like a golf bag, is what I'm imagining, right? It's like a tube with a little bit of structure, like a really big quiver, right? And he
Yeah,
just-
like a really big quiver.
and
And you've got little soft puppet covers for each of the gun spears.
yeah.
No, I'm with you. Great. So that's what you learn. That's what you find, and you manage to escape. I think the news of this Empire base kind of shocks the people of Haven when they realize it. It like the Empire was driven out once before, but it feels like they're back. They're back once more. This time they're acting through the Hua, but only just. They aren't hiding it, so they must be ready to do something. Whatever they have planned, it's coming. And deep beneath the ocean, Chimali, the Leviathan swims fast and faster, staying ahead of and far away from the thrashing shark.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know what is going to happen. I must face that beast. I cannot ask you to face it with me. If you tell me where you wish to be let go, I will let you go.
But I feel like this is my fault. I just made it more powerful. I mean, that was whatever I did went wrong. Maybe I could help you too if you come back to Skyfire Peak with me, all the forgers there, we could build you a big set of armor or something to help you fight.
Armor.
Oh my god.
And then I think the
Wait.
as the plesiosaur kind of glides into the water outside of Skyfire Peak, we linger on Chimali, very excitedly describing, gesturing wildly about the kinds of things that the forgers can do for this. And I think that's where we're gonna call it tonight.
Oh my god.
So with the Hua backing the Empire, and with a giant monster getting ready to fight another giant monster, with all of Haven hanging in the balance, it seems like. Here we are.
Oh my god. If the forgers would make a Mecha Godzilla,
They
they
would.
would.
They really would.
We've done it before, and we'll do it again.
We didn't even have to force it. This just happened organically.
I did not think of that until you said that, and then I was like, hold up.
we did it again.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you thank you to Josephine for coming and rating us. I think or JCVIM, she might have left, but if you came as a part of that raid and stuck around, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being here. For all of you OG real ones, thanks for being here too. This has been a blast. We are excited to have one more show. This is probably the end of our Free from the Yoke, but hopefully not the end of Haven, because we really like this world and would love to keep playing in it. But if you liked what you've seen, please consider supporting All Nerds Here. You can follow or subscribe. You can join our Discord, where you can, which is in the Twitch link. You can hang out there with folks, chat about the game. If you want to get some cool nerd clothing, you can go to You can go to the All Nerds Here part of So Nerdwear and get some cool merch. It's what the nerds wear, according to their tagline. It's not Cyber Monday anymore, so I don't know if they have any deal. But you know what deal is evergreen? The code WRASSLE, WRASSLE, getting you 10% off of your purchase. I've been JR, and this has been Simon.
Yes, it's me. I believe the merch code is all merch here now.
Oh, so they should update that. Thank you,
Probably
Simon.
update that. Okay, that's fine. My name is Simon. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. I am a tabletop role-playing game designer. I write games over at colorspreadgames.itch.io, including a new game that's a very personal art house kind of game for 2 players about fighting anxiety and depression. I hope you check it out. I am a professional game master for Magpie Games. If you go to magpiegames.com/curated-play, you can find out how you can get linked up with me or many other fantastic GMs running games like Masks, Bluebeard's Bride, and the upcoming Root role-playing game. I am also a voice actor on the Penumbra Podcast, which is a queer sci-fi and fantasy audio drama. We have got some fun stuff in the works that I cannot talk about, but stay tuned for long-term fans of the show for more information about something exciting coming up. But if you want to catch up on the show first, it's at the Penumbra Pod on Twitter, thepenumbrapodcast.com, and available wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. I'm a cast member here on All Nerds Here, but also come back on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern for City of Mist game that we're playing. It's called Royal Flush, a Wild Cards adventure. We do superhero neo-noir. We've got our final episode this Sunday, so go check it out, catch up on the VODs. And then come back at 8 p.m. to a different channel, twitch.tv/go_JG, where we are playing After the War by Jason Pytra, Genesis of Legend, sci-fi mimetic horror, space McCarthyism. It's a good time. It's a cool story. It's an interesting system. So I hope you'll join us for that as well. That's me.
Very cool. All of that stuff is definitely worth it. We've played a game with Simon. It is fun times. You might have seen it. This was Unnatural Disasters. The one you didn't see was also very fun, but you just have to trust us for it. You know who else you have to trust? You have to trust Alex.
Yes, I never make any questionable decisions, and it always turns out fine. So you can find me. I design games at fractaldragon.itch.io. I'm at a Fractal Dragon on Twitter. I also just released with my friend Lara a new podcast just yesterday. That's Unplaytested. You can find us on Twitter at Unplaytested. It is the podcast of playing games that have never been played before because they never existed before, because we write them live on the, well, not on the air, but on a podcast. So we're doing it live and then you get to listen to it later. There is a live part, which is that we will play the games on Twitch the next week. So that's going to be, we just released our first podcast episode yesterday, the 1st, and on the 8th, we are going to do our first streamed episode playing our game that is about what we both think Naruto is like without ever having seen Naruto. So
It's very good.
But I believe that show. I believe the show you're thinking of is called Boruto's Dad.
right.
I makes that joke. It's good. It's a good.
It's a good
episode.
joke.
It's true.
It's yep. You can't not make that joke because it's one of the only things I knew about Naruto, so I had to.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be on the ultimate episode of Chimera, Cape and Blade. Is that on this Friday? I think it
Could
is.
be, probably.
think
It's
it
a
is.
season of. It's a season of endings.
Yes,
Gosh.
Well, I guess.
that's next time. So we've got a battle against two horrifying godlike beings, one of whom is the dad of one of our characters.
Oh.
So look forward to that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We got the Skybreaker and a like horrible what if Hades was a rude weather god dad.
I love
Nice. I love that. That's very good. You don't have to trust her, but you do have to appreciate the amazing amounts of hard work that she does. It's Rue, everybody.
You should always trust me. It's never me.
Uh-huh.
Hello, everyone.
60% of the time.
I'm never the imposter.
Oh my god.
How can I be? I'm always in the vents.
It's just a strat.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rue. You can find me at Cherry Drop on Twitter. I produce here and a couple other places. You can find all that on Twitter as well.
Perfect. And then making you wonder what trust is, not because of actions, but just because of some very good questions about the ontological nature of reality, is Viditya.
Oh my god. Hi everybody, I'm Viditya, and you can find me on Twitter at VidityaValetti. You can buy my games at VidityaValetti.com. VidityaValetti.itch.io. You can check out my portfolio at VidityaValetti.com. You can also support me on Patreon, patreon.com/VidityaValetti, and also follow me on Twitch, where, oh god, hopefully soon, I'm going to be able to stream more and do more fun stuff on stream. I just have been busy. But at twitch.tv/VidityaValetti. I don't have a ton of stuff going on right now. There was some sales happening this week, so if you missed them, then you can pay for my games in full and then feel good about yourself because you're supporting me, and that's really nice of you. The other thing is I have a Kickstarter, or I'm on a Kickstarter right now. We are pretty close to my stretch goal. It is called The House Doesn't Always Win, a very cool tabletop RPG Kickstarter about you play a revolution, and it is setting agnostic. So you build the setting as you play. So, you know, figure out whose heads you're chopping, and it uses a single deck of cards. It's really cool. My stretch goal is to write a setting for it where you play weapons rising up against their wielders on the battlefield, and I'm pretty sure that's all of my stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the person who is most likely to earn your trust. Not through necessarily actions, but not earn in the sense of like EARN, but to put it in an urn.
What?
Having earned it. Yeah, to earn your
it.
trust is Kevin.
Hey, I'm Kevin. You can find me on the links in the thing. At me on Twitter about how I have too many Chrome tabs, I guess. Tune in on Sunday to After the War for when I inevitably have more technical difficulties. Buy my games at full price because I won't discount them because they're already too cheap on windconditions.itch.io.
And then finally, I've been making all the good segues. I'm JR. You can follow me on the internet. You can find my articles where I make equally good segues at Bell of Lost Souls. I don't really have much else other than this going on right now. We're entering the season of endings. The winter is coming, the harvest time or the reaping time for all role-playing game campaigns as they come to an end. I'll have a very special shout out and thank you message to everyone who's been supporting us and stuck with us for this whole wonderful campaign next time. But just know that we already miss Haven and we're looking forward to next week. We'll see you around, folks. Get to it. Go eat another snack probably, and then get some good sleep. And have a great weekend. Maybe consider trying out a new game. Destiny 2 is pretty good, I hear. And no from playing it. But there's a lot out there, you could try getting into Settlers of Catan. Play some Pandemic, whatever. If you're looking for, but really, no, the games you should be playing are the ones that we've been talking about for the last time. Indie RPGs do some of the cool, like the best, most innovative stuff out there right now. There was for a time the Brain Trust Science Fair bundle. You can still find a YouTube video of that if you want to see some amazing. Just like amazing work by amazing people. Role-playing games used to be like war games, and that was it for a long time. And then there was a lot of innovation. And then they used to be like this sort of like, okay, we're sort of weird combat fight simulators, or we're weird social fight simulators. And then there was a lot of innovation. And we're kind of in that next phase of it, and it's very exciting to see who's pushing the bounds. So thank you all for supporting an actual play stream of an indie game, because Lord knows that it is hard enough to get those out there. So thanks for being here. Have a great week. We are going to be rating Kate, who is building a new Stardew farm, which I am told involves neither dew nor stars, but lots of clicking on plants. It's very soothing. So be sure and stick around for that, and we'll see you all next time. Go grab some Baja Blast flavored Doritos and drink some Doritos flavored Mountain Dew. And we'll see you. We'll see you next week. And now we'll just hang out till that raid timer counts down, or until Rue mercifully cuts the stream. Whichever comes
Never do
first.
We're here
And it's
forever.